Okay, so here we're going, just about to kick off here now. Good fast start on this one. Trying to stay with the front of the pack here. Conley is in this race. He's coming up behind me there now. He's racing in this one as well. A few heavy hitters. Who have we got? We've Taylor Swift and DN are two guys that I know from the Zwift world. Two fairly strong guys, and yeah, if I can stay with them guys for a while, I'll be doing all right. Pace isn't too bad here now. You're what we talking, maybe 220, 230. So not not too bad at all. Decent little group. How many of us is there? Just see. So 31 of us. Not a huge group, but still enough. So I was at a communion yesterday. Had a few pints of Guinness. So said I'd jump in this race today. Little short, kind of snappy race that um will take a little bit of effort and kind of sweat that out of me, and yeah, get me back on the right road for tomorrow. But still want to try and stay with this group for as long as I could. Um, it's a it's a testing kind of course. It's not like really a climb as such. Well, it's a climb for someone like me, but for some of the climbers, it's nothing. Um, it starts nearly at 3k in, and then kind of a good effort then for the I think it lasts about 1.9 k altogether. Do you know? So that's it. I was just trying to speed it up there a little, but um, I don't think I can. No, no, I can only go multiply by 2 on this. So we'll go with that. So yeah, it's a testing kind of effort. It goes up to a 3 here. Um, what's up average there around 300. There's Conley right in behind me. He's kind of flying along there as well. And yeah, it's 1.9 kind of long. I find that I can put in a good effort till about the halfway mark, and then the second half of the rise, I'm really struggling and having to give it everything to kind of keep the pace where it needs to be to stay with the group. Um, so it's still going on. I end up having to stand here a bit because yeah, the steam is just running out of the legs, and I really like this. I don't have much success with this climb or rise, but I really like it because the reason why I started cycling was for jiu-jitsu and the efforts for jiu-jitsu competition, and I feel a little climb like that that takes maybe a minute to maybe 2 minutes, or I didn't really time it, but or maybe a 2 to 3 minute effort there is very similar to the efforts in jiu-jitsu where you could have scrambles or whatever, you could be stuck in a submission or whatever, and it could take you a minute or two of good hard effort to try and get your way out. So even though I'm not very strong at these climbs, I enjoy them for that reason, because they're they're similar to, say, jiu-jitsu efforts where, whereas the long 20-minute climbs, I'm not strong at them anyways, but I don't find that benefits my jiu-jitsu. It's the short little climbs and efforts like that, the 30 seconds to maybe the 2 to 3 minute efforts that I really enjoy, because I'm pushing through them for kind of the jiu-jitsu. That's why I started cycling during COVID, when jiu-jitsu and all that kind of close contact sports were knocked on the head, and got a little spin bike and start doing little spin videos on YouTube, looking at it on the TV in the kitchen, and then eventually Google found out about Zwift and that, and kind of got into it and bought a little cheap trainer at the time, but got going at it. So my cycling, even I can really enjoy it, but I don't cycle on the road at all. It's just Zwift only because it's specifically for just the cardio for jiu-jitsu, and I find this makes a huge difference, So we're still tipping around here, nearly the end of the first lap, so the pace kind of settles a little bit here. It's grand. Sitting in behind him here, catching a little bit of draft. You'll see the watts are in the kind of grey and blue area there for a little bit. But if you see my heart rate now on the second climb, I've never blew up like I blew up on this second climb. Like completely, like just game over, blow up, not a thing left. Sometimes I feel like when I kind of give up, or you're on a climb and you just kind of you don't have any more in the tank. You're kind of game over. You're done, and sometimes it feels like that. You might have something left in the tank, but this is the first time that I've ever felt like that. And I know it's only a short climb, but like there was not a thing left after this. I think like I'm 43 years old. My max heart rate is, what did I say? It's 220 minus your age. So my max heart rate should be one. I'm not the best at maths, but I think it's around 177. That'd be right. 177. And I think when I blew up here on this climb, that my heart rate was around 196. So that was kind of me, like well past my limit. And I was really trying my best to stay with this group, but there just was nothing left in the tank. Not a thing left in the tank. It was game over. So here we go. We're flying up this hill. What's around 300? And like I said, it's only a 1 to maybe a 2 here, and then levels out to zeros. But sometimes it's not always the climb that gets you. It's the effort. It's the effort that everyone else is putting in and trying to stay with that effort. Like say it's a 2 here, then goes to a 5. And yeah, heart rate there's 194 here now, so I'm well gone by me limit. 195. Oh, it's gone back to 194. Back up again, and I know I'm coming to near the end of this, so like I'm really pushing to try and stay with this group. I really wanted to stay with them, but here we go. The head is shaking and moving from side to side, and after I give it one little more effort here, I think that's it. That's me. Once I fell off, it was game over. I just couldn't get back on, and yeah, that was it. That was all she wrote. So you'll see Conley there, a mate of mine. He's 40 seconds behind. So my goal now is to try and make sure that group behind doesn't catch, you know. But yeah, completely blew up here. So trying to get the heart rate back down a little bit, trying to breathe, and yeah. So Conley's group are flying here now. They're 38 seconds behind here now. They were 41, 42 seconds behind. So they're closing that gap. Um, my watts was in the grey there for a little bit, blue. Now they're kind of going greeny blue. So I'm trying to up the pace, trying to get my numbers back up to over 200 and keep them over 200, because I know that group, if they're after closing 10 seconds on me in the last, let's say, a minute or that, So trying to put in an effort and trying to trying to just kind of keep the gap here for as long as possible. So on a little bit of a downhill here now, -4, -5, low enough watts here now. So trying to gather myself, get my heart rate back down. Heart rate's at 164 there now, so that's not too bad. That's kind of not too bad for me because my heart rate runs a bit high anyways. Now my resting heart rate's not so bad, it's 49, but once I start working out at all, the heart rate just goes up. So yeah, so trying to keep it around about or over 200 if I can here, because I just know that this group is they're catching me fairly quick. Yeah, I wasn't strong enough to stay with that group. They were way better than me, way stronger, and just had that little bit of pop at the um, end of that kind of rise, and I just didn't have anything left. That was kind of it. There was not a thing left in the tank. So these guys behind now have it down to 22 seconds. So 5k left here now. So I'm trying to keep this gap if I can. I put in a little bit of an effort on the next kind of rise then as well. I'm trying to put in enough effort that I'm going up the say that rise fairly as quick as I can without putting in a big effort, because I didn't want to put in like too much of a big effort and then blow up on the climb and then the group behind end up passing me out. So I wanted to put in a bit of effort. I knew they were probably going to catch me on this climb here, but have enough that I I stay away as long as I can without blowing myself up, and having a little bit left in the tank, that because I know when a group passes you in a race, they usually up the pace. So I wanted a little bit left in the tank for when they went by. Um, so that's it. So here's Conley on the group. He's 11 seconds behind. I thought Conley was going to get back on here, but this little climb just burns the life out of you. And the group just made a little bit of distance, on him there, and he's just fallen back just ever so slightly. So we've 4.2k left. So the group there are just 20 meters behind me now. They're after really closing that gap, and there we go. So I try putting in a bit of an effort here now to try and stay on with them. Heart rate's back up around 180 now. There's 190 there now. So, and first guy's gone on by me, and I was like, right, I need to put in a bigger effort here. Can't let this second group go away from me. Or I'll end up just falling back, you know. So D Schoenmakers, I think he's after making a good bit of a gap on us there. He's after putting in a good effort. He's throwing out good watts there now. Marshall and T Willis. So I try stay with these guys if I can here, but struggling enough to tell you the truth. Struggling to kind of stay on with them. T Wills kind of gave up there. I don't know if he lost connection or what. You wouldn't know. Looks like he lost connection. He's putting out 0 watts. So I don't know. He was flying and he just went over there. So Marshall's after opening up a bit of a gap on me. I get a little bit of a super tuck. There's a little bit of a downhill here. Trying an effort again. I know there's one or two more little downhills here. So super tucking again. Trying to take a bit of a breather here. Have a little drink. Take a little bit easy as I can here and try and save myself a little bit for the sprint. I don't have a good sprint at the best of times anyways, but today I had a few Guinness last night, was at a party, and yeah, I don't go out too often, but went out last night, had a few, and said I'd do a race there today to kind of sweat it out of me a bit, and that it did. But and I kind of went for a bit of a sprint here against A Marshall, but he was the better man on the day. I think I'm friends with him on it because earlier on I seen a little kind of halo kind of around his avatar, which means I must be friends with him on Zwift, so I must have raced with him at some time. But he's what he's doing here is he's clever enough. He's drafting in behind me, using his draft and settling behind, and then he's gone. He's a good strong sprint too, 9.1. So yeah, great finish there from him, and that was it. That's me race over. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all on the next one.